Last week, someone broke a promise to you. Maybe it was small, a favor not returned, a message left unanswered. You told them it was fine, that you understood, that these things happen. And then, somewhere quiet inside you, you made a decision. You decided you would trust them a little less from now on. That decision felt like a flaw, a grudge, a small meanness you wished you didn't carry. But the real answer is far stranger. That quiet decision is one of the most sophisticated calculations your mind ever performs. It is the same calculation that built trust, language, friendship, and every society you have ever lived in. And it traces back to a math problem so simple it fits on a napkin, and so deep that scientists spent decades arguing about what it really means. You are playing a game. You have been playing it your entire life. You never agreed to join, and you cannot leave. But once you understand its rules, you start to see them everywhere. Let's begin with the cleanest version of the problem. In 1950, two researchers at a place called the Rand Corporation, Merrill Flood and Melvin Drescher, were studying conflict and cooperation. They designed a small scenario. A colleague named Albert Tucker later dressed it in a story to make it easier to teach, and that story is now famous. It is called The Prisoner's Dilemma. Imagine you and another person are arrested. You are held in separate rooms. You cannot speak to each other. The prosecutor offers you both the same deal. If you betray the other person and they stay silent, you walk free and they take the full punishment. If you both stay silent, you both get a light sentence. If you both betray each other, you both lose badly. Now think it through. If they stay silent, betraying them sets you free. If they betray you, betraying them protects you from the worst outcome. So no matter what they do, betrayal looks like the smart move. So, you betray. And they reason the exact same way. So they betray too. And you both end up worse off than if you had simply trusted each other. That is the trap. Two people, each acting in pure self-interest, each being perfectly rational, walk straight into the worst result for both. The mathematician John Nash described the deeper structure behind moments like this. A situation where no one can improve their outcome by changing their own move alone, even when everyone could do better if they all changed together. Logic locks the door. Self-interest swallows the key. Here is the part that should unsettle you. This is not a story about prisoners. This is the shape of almost every relationship you have. Two countries deciding whether to disarm. Two co-workers deciding whether to share credit. Two neighbors deciding whether to keep the noise down. A friend deciding whether to be honest with you when a lie would be easier. Every one of these is the same quiet game. Cooperate, and you both gain something fragile and real. Betray, and you grab something fast and certain, while the other person pays. And if betrayal is always the rational move, then cooperation should be impossible. Trust should never exist. We should be a species of strangers, each one looting the other for small advantages, forever. But look around you. Trust does exist. People hold doors. They keep promises no one is watching them keep. They tip in restaurants in cities they will never visit again. Something is wrong with the cold math, or rather something is missing from it. What is missing is time. The original dilemma is played once. You meet, you choose, you part forever. But that is not how your life works. You meet the same people again. The coworker is there tomorrow. The neighbor is there next year. The friend remembers. And the moment a game repeats, everything changes. In the late 1970s, a political scientist named Robert Axelrod wanted to know what actually wins when the same two players face the dilemma over and over. So he did something elegant. He held a tournament. He invited experts in mathematics, economics, and computer science to submit strategies. Little programs, each with its own rule for when to cooperate and when to betray. Then he made them all play each other, round after round, and tallied the scores. People submitted clever things. Strategies that lied in careful patterns. Strategies that betrayed at the very end to steal a final point. Strategies that probed for weakness and pounced. The winner was the simplest program in the entire tournament. It was 4 lines of code, submitted by a mathematician and psychologist named Anatol Rappaport. It was called tit for tat. Its rule was almost childishly plain. On the first move, cooperate. After that, do whatever the other player did last time. That's it. Be kind first. Then mirror. If you cooperate with it, it cooperates back, forever. If you betray it, it betrays you right back, once, immediately. And the moment you return to cooperating, It forgives you. Think about what that means. The strategy that beat every cunning, exploitative, deceptive program was the one that started friendly, never betrayed first, hit back when wronged, and then let it go. Axelrod studied why it won, and he found a pattern in every successful strategy. They were nice. They never defected first. They were provocable. They struck back when attacked, so they could not be endlessly exploited. They were forgiving. They did not hold a grudge once the other side returned to cooperation. And they were clear. Their behavior was simple enough that others could understand the rule and learn to cooperate with them. Now go back to the start. Go back to the person who broke their promise to you and the quiet decision you made. You cooperated first. You gave them trust before they earned it. They defected. And you did exactly what the winning strategy does. You did not destroy the relationship. You did not seek revenge. You simply lowered your trust by one notch and waited to see what they did next. If they make it right, you will forgive. If they do it again, you will protect yourself. You were not being petty. You were running the most successful strategy ever discovered for surviving a world of other people. You just never knew its name. But the story does not end with strategy, because Axelrod's tournament was only ever a game of points. The real tournament, the one that actually ran for millions of years, and the points were survival itself. A biologist named William Hamilton, working with Axelrod, asked a deeper question. What if these strategies were not programs, but living things? What if cooperating well meant you lived a little longer, had a few more children, passed on a little more of yourself? Then the strategies that scored highest would not just win a tournament, they would inherit the future. And that is, in a sense, what happened to you. The mathematician Martin Nowak spent his career showing how cooperation can evolve and survive in populations of selfish organisms, and he kept finding the same answer. Cooperation is not soft. It is not naive. It is one of the hardest, most relentless forces in biology, every bit as fundamental as competition. The capacity to trust, to repay kindness, to punish betrayal and then forgive it, was not gifted to you by culture or religion. It was carved into you by the longest tournament in the universe, because the ancestors who played it well are the only ones who became your ancestors at all. So here's the counterintuitive truth, the thing the cold math missed. In a single moment, betrayal wins. Steal the credit, break the promise, take the larger share, and walk away, richer. Once. But you do not live in a single moment. You live in a repeated game, in a small world of people who remember, who talk, who watch how you treat others, and quietly decide how much of themselves to risk on you. And across that repeated game, the selfish player slowly runs out of partners. Word spreads. Doors close. The people who would have cooperated learn to defect first, just to protect themselves from you. The selfish strategy poisons its own water. The cooperator does the opposite. Each act of trust that gets returned builds a thicker rope between two people. And ropes like that are what careers are made of, and friendships, and love, and the strange, fragile, astonishing fact that millions of strangers can live in a single city and mostly not destroy each other. You feel this every day, even when you can't name it. You feel it as the discomfort of telling a lie that would benefit you. You feel it as the warmth of being trusted. You feel it as the slow, cold withdrawal you make from someone who has burned you one too many times. These feelings are not random. They are the interface. They are how a strategy older than language reaches up through your evolution and tells you which move to make in the only game that has ever mattered. So the next time someone wrongs you, notice what your mind does. It will not scream for revenge. It will not collapse into forgiveness. It will do something far more elegant. It will adjust, by exactly one notch, and watch. It will stay open to repair. It will remember, but it will not be cruel. It will give the relationship one more honest chance to become what it could have been. That instinct is not weakness. It is the inheritance of every ancestor who ever chose to trust a stranger and lived because that trust was returned. Last week, someone broke a promise to you. And the quiet thing you did next, the small recalibration of trust you barely even noticed, was not a flaw in you. It was the smartest move in the longest game ever played. And you have been winning it your whole life.